like to be as surprised as you all are when I come back to work.
Whoopi Goldberg vanished without warning. No goodbye, no explanation, just gone. Have you ever seen a star walk off the set and flee the country while the heat turns all the way up? Subscribe now, because this isn't just celebrity drama. It's the unravelling of daytime TV as we know it. The controversy sparked the moment Caroline Leavitt stepped onto The View, not as a guest, but as a target. What should have been an interview turned into a televised ambush, and fans saw it play out in real time. From the jump, Joy Behar minimised Leavitt's political credibility with a dismissive tone. You're what, 25? What exactly do you know about running a country? The audience laughed, but the tension was thick. Sunny Hostin didn't hold back either, taking it a step further with a harsh critique masked as commentary. You benefit from a system built for people like you, she said. That's not experience, that's privilege. The insinuation that Leavitt's rise wasn't earned, it was inherited.
Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman.
Then Whoopi Goldberg delivered the line that lit the match. With a grin, she said, "You're here because Conservatives need a poster child, not because you earned a seat at the table." Those words didn't just sting, they circulated across social media like wildfire. Clips were clipped, hashtags trended, and within hours, outrage was erupting. Conservative commentators called it character assassination, and Leavitt supporters accused the hosts of bullying and defamation. The View didn't just spark controversy, they stepped straight into a legal minefield. And Leavitt? She wasn't backing down. She was documenting everything.
That there has been $71 billion worth of fraud.
Caroline Leavitt's $800 million lawsuit didn't just rattle The View, it sent shockwaves through the entire media industry. Filed in federal court, the suit outlines a deliberate, premeditated effort to smear her character, destroy her credibility, and ignite political outrage for ratings. Her legal team came armed with receipts, internal communications, production notes, and timing logs that mapped the segment like a military operation. The evidence is overwhelming, said Leavitt's lead attorney in a press statement. This wasn't opinion. It was a targeted character attack broadcast to millions. Caroline herself didn't hold back, stating, "I was invited under the pretense of an interview, not a public execution. What happened was a media ambush, and we have the documents to prove it."
Here soon. I'm excited. It's time.
The lawsuit accuses the show of willful malice, citing calculated efforts to provoke, insult, and humiliate. Leavitt's team claims the attack wasn't journalism. It was orchestrated narrative warfare. And with the documents already made public, legal experts say The View might be facing the most expensive reckoning in daytime television history. As the legal fire grew hotter, Whoopi's facade began to crack. Insiders reported she snapped at producers, dodged pre-show briefings, and vanished for long stretches during production hours. She looked like she hadn't slept in days, said one crew member. It wasn't the usual Whoopi swagger, it was fear.
It is always a pleasure to have you here.
When the court fast-tracked the case, it sent her spiralling further. The legal team couldn't shield her from subpoenas, and ABC execs reportedly held emergency meetings to discuss damage control. A source close to production revealed, she kept saying, "I've dealt with controversy before, but this is different. This is dangerous." The moment she realised this wasn't just media noise, but a legal freight train coming straight at her, everything changed. Whoopi had faced political backlash before, but this time, the consequences were real, personal, and closing in fast. That's when Whoopi vanished without a trace. Multiple news outlets confirmed she boarded a flight out of the United States, with her destination kept completely under wraps. ABC released a vague statement, citing personal time, but viewers weren't convinced. The timing was too perfect, right after the lawsuit was fast-tracked, and right before her scheduled deposition. Fans exploded online. One viral comment read, Whoopi disappearing like it's a season finale cliffhanger. This isn't time off, it's damage control. Another fan wrote, she dipped the moment it got real. This isn't personal leave, it's panic in motion. The lawsuit had moved beyond courtrooms and news outlets. It had taken over pop culture. Even NBA wives started weighing in. Jasmine Jordan, daughter of Michael Jordan, shared an article with the caption, "They always laugh until it's deposition day." Meanwhile, Savannah James, wife of LeBron, liked a post that read, "Now The View wants to preach about earned positions. Please, pot, meat kettle." It wasn't just legal anymore. It was reputational warfare, and Whoopi was retreating from the battlefield. Behind closed doors, ABC was in full-blown crisis mode. Executives held emergency meetings that ran late into the night, trying to assess the damage. Insider sources revealed that network leadership was blindsided by the sheer scale and speed of the fallout. One senior ABC executive reportedly told colleagues, "This isn't just bad press, this is existential. The brand is bleeding." A media consultant brought in to manage the chaos described the atmosphere as total lockdown. Staff were warned not to speak to reporters, and digital access logs were reviewed to track internal leaks. "It's like we're under siege," one junior producer confided. "Everyone's watching their back." Even anchor talent from other ABC shows began distancing themselves. One insider shared, "People are nervous. Nobody wants to be the next headline." An ABC spokesperson tried to cool the fire, stating, "We remain committed to open dialogue and respectful discourse," but few were buying it. Meanwhile, Caroline's side doubled down. Her attorney said to NBC News, "The moment networks confuse targeted humiliation with commentary, they cross a dangerous line, and we intend to prove it." And online? Viewers cheered. The tables had turned, and ABC knew it. As Caroline Leavitt stood her ground, a surprising wave of unlikely allies came forward. Megyn Kelly praised her courage, tweeting, "The takedown backfired." Caroline handled that setup with poise and fire, something the hosts clearly underestimated. Even Elon Musk chimed in, writing, "Mainstream media has become performance art. Caroline exposed the script." Conservative influencers rallied, calling it a defining moment in the fight against media tyranny. But not everyone was in Caroline's corner. Political commentators on left-leaning networks dismissed the lawsuit as a right-wing publicity stunt. A viral op-ed claimed, "Leavitt isn't a victim. She's a provocateur who walked into a lion's den and cried foul when she got bit." The war of narratives was in full swing. Was Caroline a media martyr, or a master strategist playing the long game? The online reaction reached a fever pitch. Instagram fan pages that once celebrated Whoopi's wisdom were suddenly flooded with angry posts, demanding accountability. One viral comment summed up the shift. "You tried to humiliate that girl on live TV, and now Whoopi's running like it's a Shonda Rhimes plot twist." Facebook groups with names like Justice for Caroline, Cancel the View Already, and Whoopi's exit strategy, Flee or Plead, gained thousands of followers overnight. TikTok creators reenacted the heated segment, adding captions like, "The setup that backfired," and "When the roast becomes evidence." Even the memes were ruthless. One showed Whoopi sprinting through an airport, dragging a suitcase labelled "Legal Trouble," with a caption that read, "Scene, The View, season finale." This controversy goes far beyond a single heated episode. It's become a full-blown media war. Caroline Leavitt's lawsuit has ripped open a Pandora's box of deeper questions that media executives can no longer ignore. How far can on-air personalities go before crossing into defamation? Are talk shows like The View exploiting their guests for ratings under the guise of discussion? And perhaps most critically, can producers be held legally responsible for orchestrated, pre-planned ambushes? Legal experts are watching closely, warning that this case could redefine the boundaries of live television. If networks are forced to treat every interview like a legal minefield, it could change the entire landscape of daytime programming. And if Caroline wins? The fallout won't just be financial. It could mark the collapse of one of TV's most dominant talk shows and the end of an era for The View. As of today, Whoopi still hasn't returned to the show. ABC has made no promises. Caroline Leavitt has remained calm, poised, and more confident than ever. And fans? They've switched sides. Twitter polls now show over 70% support for Caroline. Viewership for The View has dropped in key demographics, and online buzz. It's all about what's next in court. This was supposed to be Caroline's downfall, wrote one fan. But now? It's Whoopi's legacy that's on trial. What do you think? Is Whoopi really fleeing from accountability? Or is this just another media circus? Should The View face consequences for what fans are calling a public takedown ambush? Or is Caroline Leavitt just playing the game better? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This convo is far from over. And if you want to keep up with the real stories the mainstream media tries to bury, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell. This is where the real drama drops and the truth comes out.